Right, welcome back to the more YouTube channel. It's Chris back with my rant stroke thought of the day, and I know what you're thinking. Oh no, the beanie is back. That is right, because it's absolutely freezing. Winds from Storm Claudia, or Storm Claudia, as I want to call it. Remember Claudia Schiffer? Wow, what a babe she was. That's one for the 90s childs. But yeah, it's freezing, it's cold, the beanie is back. It's colder than a witch's tit. But I thought I'd just jump on. It's international break and talk about some of our international mags, certainly the ones who have grabbed the headlines. Just before I do, a little reminder, if you're checking us out for the first time, hello to you. Smash that subscribe button. Let's get us to 12,000 subscribers. We're so close. I've got a great prize to give away when we get there as well. But let's talk about the international mags. And there's no better place to start, in my opinion, than up front with big Nick Woltemade, who scored a brace against Luxembourg for Germany. And what an unbelievable kit that is, by the way. If Mark's throwing up a picture in the background of the wonder of YouTube, I love that retro Germany kit. And he looked every inch a throwback to Rudi Völler in terms of his movement. It's funny that, isn't it? You give this lad the ball and he scores goals. And it wasn't the kind of goals we've seen from Nick Woltemade in a Newcastle shirt, you know, some out of the blue flick or a header. It was great centre forward play, good movement as well. The first goal, they get down the line, they're whipping a great ball across and he comes flying in, a clinical finish in the bottom corner. And then the second goal was even better. He points where he wants it, little threaded through pass. He takes in his stride and smashes in the back of the net. Two proper centre forward goals. And I think that's his 9th goal in about 19 or 20 games all in all this season. And he's got 3 and 7 for Germany. Now, this kid is not a problem. You know, I know Craig Hope did a video. I got loads of time for Craig. He's a top bloke as well. He called him a problem and a solution. But this player should not be a problem. That's not me digging Craig out at all. I get what he was saying in the video. I commented on it. I like what Craig does. But Nick Woltemade is not the problem. It's the team around him, and it's the manager as well, structuring the team to get the best out of this player, because the boy can finish. Look at that game. Look what he did. Yes, you got to caveat it by, oh, you're playing Luxembourg, bloody hell, you know, but you've still got to beat who you got in front of you. But the movement and the finishing was excellent, and a real sign of Nick Woltemade getting to kind of top levels of fitness and movement and pace and everything else as well. And if he can start making those runs and actually being found by his teammates in a black and white shirt, then we're going to have a total different dimension of this lad as well. I think he's a brilliant centre forward. You know, people are saying he's not a 9, he's a 9.5, which is probably right. But the goal record he's got there, he's practically a 1 and 2 centre forward right now this season. And that is unbelievable stats. Certainly better than a certain Swedish shithouse that we shall not name. But that was a brilliant performance by Nick Woltemade. I tuned into the England U21s for a little bit on YouTube because it was free. I do like games like that. More of those, please. You know, where games are free to consume on YouTube. And both Lewis Hall and Lewis Miley were starting for the England U21s. They got a 2-0 victory against the Irish. And it was brilliant to see Lewis Hall getting in the minutes. And I tell you what, wow. He wins the penalty for them. He's up and down that line. Mark probably shows heat map now with the wonder of YouTube. That's what a proper left back looks like. That's not me digging Dan Burn out. I love Dan Burn. Dan Burn's a good centre half. He's an England centre half. He's not an England left back, and he's certainly not a Newcastle United left back either. He can't do what Lewis Hall does. And I know Lewis Hall's just back from a long-term injury, and you've got to manage his minutes and his fitness. I get that, I understand that. But if Lewis Hall can give you half an hour, 45 minutes, he should have started the game against Brentford that we all know, and he was brilliant in this game against Ireland, up and down the line. Some lovely touches, skinning players, whipping crosses in. He was absolutely magnificent in the game, and the minutes will help him get him fit, get him robust, and hopefully he can come back from this international break with no injuries. Start against Man City, because we need him, because Burns not even there. Start against Man City and put in a really good shift, and we'll start to see the Lewis Hall that we all know and love. And he looks brilliant. He looks sharp as a tack. He looks strong. You know, he looks even better than he was before he went away. And I'm really excited to see Lewis Hall in this team, and Team Liverment on the right-hand side as well. We need to get him back fit and raring to go. Once you bring those two players back in, it completely unlocks an ability of Newcastle to play in a certain way, in my opinion. But getting on to Lewis Miley, you know, I'm a big Lewis Miley fan. Anybody who's watched this channel knows I banged the drum about how I think this kid should be in the side a lot more than he is. I think Joe Litton's been really poor, not just this season, the back end of last as well. But we seem to be locked into this midfield 3. Eddie Howe's locked into this midfield 3. But I watched Lewis Miley in this game. I watched him closely. I played midfield when I was younger, anywhere near this level at all. But you watch the positions that you played in a lot more, don't you? That's just how football works. And Lewis Miley was magnificent in this game. He was playing in a double pivot, which is something that I'd love to see him do for Newcastle alongside Sandro Tonali, who's a much better player than Joe Bellingham. But him and Joe Bellingham worked really well. One sat, one went. They seem to have it locked in and kind of understanding between the two of them. And I think if he could do that between Sandro Tonali and himself, with Bruno Guimaraes a bit further up the park, I think that completely transforms the creativity in that Newcastle United midfield. And for all those coming at me in the comments going, oh, Lewis Miley's too soft, he's not physical. He was clattering players in this game. He's bigger, he's stronger, he is physical. He's been clattering players for Newcastle as well when he's played, but he's much better on the ball than Joe Linton is when he gets the ball. And I saw some lovely flashes of passing from Lewis Miley in this game. Certainly one over the top to the striker. Absolutely brilliant. He actually starts the move that gets the first penalty that the centre forward from Stoke missed. Is it Mbama? He missed it. And Lewis Miley was instrumental in winning the ball back with a challenge, stayed on his feet, got the ball round, flicked it round, threaded a through pass in to start that attack. He was brilliant in this game, and minutes like this for the under-21s will only make Miley a better player. International games, he looked the part. He was tall, strong, chest out, wanted the ball. He was screaming for the ball. He was on it every minute. He was knocking passes between him and his teammates. He was having some ambitious passing as well. And that's what we want to see from Lewis Miley. But I really want to see him get more minutes in a black and white shirt. There is no reason for me why that kid should not be getting a chance in the midfield alongside Sandro Tonali and Bruno Guimaraes. Now, I'll do the City preview next week, as the game obviously is at the weekend. And as much as I'm praising Lewis Miley here, I would kind of understand if Howe played Joe Linton if he's fit in the Man City game, because we need that physicality and strength. The problem is when we do win the ball back, Joe Linton invariably loses it, and that's an issue. But I think Lewis Miley was brilliant in this game. Lewis Hall, excellent to see him up and down the line as well. And big Nick Woltemade, give him the ball and he will score goals. So it's great to see the young international mags doing really well for the senior teams and their under-21 teams that we're representing as well. It can only be a good thing for Newcastle, but Eddie Howe has got to start giving these players opportunities and chances because they looked excellent in their international teams. Yes, you've got to caveat it with the opposition that they were playing, but they looked very good, composed, calm in the ball, clinical finishes by Big Nick, loads of energy by Lewis Hall, some brilliant midfield displays by Lewis Miley. They all need to be in this lineup for me when we come back from the international break. Yes, maybe City isn't a game for it, but games going forward, I want to see Lewis Hall certainly starting. I want to see Lewis Miley getting minutes. Certainly Big Nick will be in the side because we don't have any other centre forwards, but we've got to start giving this kid the ball. That's something that me and Mark are going to be talking about on What's Gannin On Monday night. Make sure you tune in for that. Let us know what you think about the performances of these guys in international breaks. How would you change the lineup? We're going to talk all about it. We're going to talk about the problems. We're going to talk about potential solutions. And we're also going to talk about, is Eddie Howe still the right man to take Newcastle United forward? So tune in to Monday night show, guys. We're looking forward to seeing you there in the comments. Like and subscribe. Have a belter of a weekend. And we'll see you later. Cheers.
Heroes celebrate. They have done it.